There is a place he goes whenever life proves difficult, a memory he inhabits. It is summer, many years previous. He is chasing her through a wood. There is park noise, children squealing, swings creaking, ice cream vans trilling somewhere behind. The two of them are running full tilt, panic laughing, her looking backwards with her eyes wide, her golden hair swinging like a woodcutter's arms, a hair's breadth out of reach. Him trying to grab her, the feel of her dress in his fingers a tangible reality, a taste, a glorious blister of holding her down, tickling her until she screams, kissing her, kissing that beautiful full mouth, burning behind his eyes with every blink. And then there is a tree, the trunk of a tree between them, her hands either side patting, the two of them circling one another, and the tree between. That's the important bit. He seems to be aware of everything, hyper-aware. The sun shining through the leaves above them, golden motes of dust in the air, the crunch of leaves and twigs beneath his feet, the rough scrape of the bark, the warm smell of the earth, and the sound of her breathing most of all, her breathing like a bounty, like riches, wanting her a necessity. They move about one another, encircling the tree, always distant, always close, until he takes her wrists in his hands. There they are, the two of them, holding each other's wrists about a tree, holding each other encumbered by a tree. It occurs to him that that precise moment, each of them holding the other's wrists, could be the happiest single moment of his life. As the years go by, happiness seems harder to come by. Take his job as for instance. Unlike a lot of people, he doesn't move around. He still believes in what used to be called the career ladder. He puts the hours in. Good work is important to him. When his manager is asked what good looks like, she points at him. But as the years go by, as he progresses from this job to that job, from manager to senior manager, to head to director, he finds that all of the things that once pleased or intrigued him disappear. Life loses its ability to surprise him. He doesn't understand what motivates or compels other people. He becomes a clock watcher. Every working hour is filled with an emergency of seconds. He smokes more, he drinks more, he loses his shape. His laugh, when he laughs, is forced and over loud. And there's little respite when he gets home. He and his wife, the woman he once fondly chased to a park, have grown apart. Raising 3 children hasn't helped. He couldn't remember a day in which he had not implored the Lord to save him. He didn't like to swear, but as his children whirled like demented dervishes about the house he sought to provide them with, he was given to muttering, "Christ in heaven, save me." This is how he felt, if you were to ask him. He was a man who felt he needed saving from the life into which he had apparently blundered. He and his wife were polite with one another, kissed each other good night, were held together by a common trust, a common desire to do that which was right, a unity for order, to be seen to be doing the right thing, to create an environment in which their children could do as well as it was possible for them to do. Did they still love each other? Some days he didn't know. Nights, when the dark seemed to open up like a hungry mouth, he would turn to her, would hold his body close beneath the covers, would rest a hand on her tummy, would kiss the back of her neck and between her shoulder blades, only for her to shake him off, saying, "Don't," and "Please," and then more quietly, "Sorry." He tried telling her he was lonely. She wouldn't meet his eyes. She said she knew. But she could hardly bring herself to hold him, never mind anything else. She didn't know what it was. She'd just gone off all of that. He asked her if she thought they should maybe go and see someone, maybe go and talk to someone. She said no. She said all things considered, it was probably best if they'd just left it as it was. Each day at work he thought of that summer long ago. Each day at work he wondered what had become of the woman he chased, what had become of the man he had been, what had become of those people. It wasn't like they were poor, it wasn't like they didn't go on holidays together or talk about the news. Every day at work he closed his eyes, placed his hands palm flat against his face, retreated, aching, into the past, to a time when he could run without his heart threatening to explode in his chest, to a time when he couldn't feel his belly move as he ran, to a time when he didn't care about mortgages and tax and insurance and work and things that need doing on the house and stuff that costs money and high blood pressure and anger constantly wedged in his stomach and his chest and his brain and his eyes and his fists and his mouth, right behind his teeth, anger filling him, all of it pointless. And he thought about the summer. He closed his eyes and thought about the summer, and slowly, as he ran through the wood, laughing, trying to catch a girl who was always somehow just out of reach, for a moment, the world which could be home to moments such as these, didn't seem quite so bad. It wasn't until his younger brother was diagnosed with cancer that he truly felt her best leave things as they are was untenable, even though an untenable position can be held for longer than you would think possible. His brother was gone within 10 months. Cause of death, multi-organ failure, perforated hollow discus, and final stage metastatic bladder cancer. Outside the church, examining the wreaths, he chanced across a bouquet and a simple white card from someone called Aubrey. The card read, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and your life will flow tranquilly." Epictetus. He couldn't get the words out of his head as he went through the motions, drink in hand, accepting condolences as if they were dead birds. Seek not that the things which happen should happen. Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish. Don't chase a dream. Don't aspire. Be happy with your lot. Wish the things which happen to be as they are, and your life will flow tranquilly. Accept your life, in other words. Roll over and play dead. Ignorance is bliss. He wanted to roar. It wasn't later that evening, or even later that week, but he knew he had to speak to her somehow. He knew he had to find the words that would touch her. He took to scribbling phrases down on his phone pad at work. "You are my wife," he wanted to tell her. "I am your husband. We've been through so much, you and me. We've had children. We have history. You are my life. There have been times when I thought I didn't love you, and when I thought perhaps you didn't love me, but now I think we are all that we have." He imagined taking her hand. Perhaps they would be out. Perhaps they would be in a restaurant. Perhaps he would wait until their next anniversary. "You are all that I have," he would say. And then he would ask her, and then he would tell. "Do you remember that day, years ago? Do you remember?" He would tell her, and he would hope that she smiled. He would tell her and hope that her laughter caught like kindle. He would tell her and hope she didn't stare down at her fingers laced atop the restaurant table. He would tell her and hope that she didn't say, "I'm sorry, but no, that wasn't me." Thank you.